All right, in this section, we're going to talk about one of the most important tools you need to consider when building your e-commerce campaign. You need to map your customer journey. So I'm going to be showing you the tool that we use to build any kind of e-commerce campaign, and it's one of the first things that you need to start considering if you want to build a profitable, scalable store in the long term. So this tool that we specifically use is called the customer value journey. It's based on 8 stages of the customer relationship. And the concept is pretty simple. If you can provide immense value at every touch point with your customer and they perceive that value to be great, then they're going to interact, they're going to engage, and they're going to move along to the next step. So this tool is all about how to convert cold audiences into raving fans of your e-commerce business. All right, so here's the 8 stages of the customer value journey. You could see that the customer starts way down at the bottom in the left there. This is where they're kind of hanging out in the world and they have no idea who you are, but they have some specific pain point or a passion point that relates to your business. They just don't know yet that you can help them solve it. So at the awareness stage, this is when the customer discovers for the first time that you can help get them from a pain state to a gain state. So they don't know who you are. They're out there in the internet abyss. And you got to think about at this awareness stage, how are you going to reach your customer and let them know that you have a solution to the problems that they're facing? So some tactics that you could consider at this stage are things like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn. You could also consider things like affiliate marketing strategies. You could consider things like pop-up shops. It doesn't all need to be digital. But just remember at the awareness stage, this is the first time that they discover who you are and what solution you can help them with. All right, and the next stage in the journey is the engage stage. So at the awareness stage, they discovered who you were for the very first time. They recognized that you can get them from a pain state to a gain state. They saw value in the message, in the ad, and now they're clicking through to the engage stage. And this is where they're starting to vet you now, right? They didn't know who you were. They saw something that was interesting at the awareness stage. They click on an ad. Now they're at the engage stage. And at the engage stage, this is when the customer deepens trust and familiarity with your brand. So they're trying to vet you to make sure that everything adds up. Is this company going to deliver on this thing that they said that they were? So you're usually going to try and build trust. You're going to try and build a safety net. And you're going to do this most often on a product page or on a landing page. You could be doing this through video. But essentially, this is where they are doing their research and they're going to consider if your product is actually going to deliver on what you promised at the aware stage. If your customer receives value at the engage stage, so they're saying, yes, I trust this brand, the product images look good, they have a lot of social proof, then at the next stage is subscribe. And this is where they're going to be willing to exchange their email address with you for something of value in return. At the subscribe stage, this is where the customer has received value at the engage stage. They trust you, and now they're actually willing to commit to starting a conversation with you. So this is where they will provide their email address to you in exchange for something of value. So this is where we would see Privy displays, we would see welcome sign-up offers show up on websites. And when customers sign up for a 10% discount, for example, they may not buy right away, but this is where we will also start triggering retargeting ads and welcome flows to nurture customers until they transact at the next stage, which is the convert stage. So at the convert stage, this is probably the most important piece of your campaign. This is when the customer commits to giving the relationship a try. And you really want to be thinking about your front end offer at this stage. So if you're driving a ton of traffic through Facebook or through organic initiatives, you don't want to leave it up to chance. You don't want to cross your fingers and hope that the customers all show up and they're super excited and they buy from you. You want to direct them to some type of front end offer. This could be something like a welcome offer, a discount for signing up to an email list. It could be something like a gift with purchase offer. It could be a tripwire offer where you could do something like just pay the shipping and we'll send you a sample of our fragrances, as an example. But at the convert stage, most importantly, you need to be thinking about this. If you're going to invest in driving a ton of traffic to your store, don't leave it up to chance. Position a front end offer that everybody who arrives at your store would be silly to pass up on. We want everybody who arrives to convert. Additionally, at the convert stage, you're going to be thinking about warm retargeting ads that I touched on when we were talking about the subscribe stage. Because if people go to your website, they're kind of subscribing to your retargeting list. And if they're signing up for a welcome offer, they're signing up to your email list. But now we want to use these retargeting ads and we want to use these abandoned cart emails and welcome emails to complete that first transaction. So next is the excite stage. And this is where the customer experiences the value of your product for the first time and either becomes a believer or does not. So this is when they finally interact with your brand for the first time. So at the convert stage, they bought the product. Now it's arriving in the mail and they get to actually experience it. But as an e-commerce store owner, you need to be thinking about that whole journey. So they transacted at the convert stage. You need to be thinking about post-purchase upsell emails. How can you resell to your customer as soon as possible after they've bought for the first time? And really this excite stage is a lot about white glove treatment. What can you do to make the unpackaging experience remarkable? This is the first time that they experience the brand. Are you going to send a handwritten note in the package? Do you have really cool packaging? You want to be thinking about those kinds of things. And as well, you could be thinking about cross-sells, not just through upsell emails, but you could be doing cross-sell retargeting ads as well. So the excite stage is a really, really important stage of the journey because if you remember, they discovered you at the awareness stage. So this is the first time they saw a message from you that said you're going to help them with their transformation. Well, the excite stage is the first time that they get to experience your product and determine if you're going to deliver on your promise. So if they get super excited the first time they use your product, guess what? They're going to become a believer. And we ultimately want every believer to advance to the next stage, which is where all roads need to go. And the next stage is the ascend stage. And this is where the customer purchases more products that complete their full transformation. So if you remember at the convert stage, they bought from you once. At the excite stage, they experienced that product and became a believer. At the ascend stage, this is where your business actually makes the most profit. Because when a customer buys from you a second time and a third time and a fourth time and a fifth time, guess what? There's no longer a hefty customer acquisition cost associated with that sale. When they bought from you the first time at the convert stage, you had to advertise or do a bunch of work to get that traffic there. So when they bought from you, there was a customer acquisition cost associated with that sale. But when you advance them all the way to the ascend stage and they buy from you a second time and a third time and a fourth time, you're no longer paying that hefty acquisition cost. So we call these second and third and fourth and fifth sales profit maximizers. You need to ultimately be thinking about growing your customer lifetime value. And there are multiple ways that you can grow customer lifetime value. You could be thinking about campaign emails. You can be thinking about loyalty programs. But you need to remember that you want to treat your existing customers and your best customers even better. If you think about it, at the convert stage, this is the first time you went on a date with them. So maybe you took them to McDonald's. But at the ascend stage, this is when you're building that lifetime relationship. And customers who have been with you for 5 years, do you think they're going to be excited when you take them to McDonald's again? Or do you want to take them on a helicopter tour around the Grand Canyon? So you really want to be catering to your best customers, your loyal, raving fan base. Treat them very well because this is where your business model will thrive, where you grow your most profits. After a customer has ascended and they've bought from you multiple times and they've fallen in love and they've completed their full transformation, now we want to intentionally help facilitate them to become an advocate for your brand. So you want to reach out, you want to collect a ton of amazing testimonials, reviews, and user-generated content. You can automate that through automated email flows, but it's not an afterthought to collect testimonials. It's probably your top priority. And I want to ask you, think about the last couple times that you were shopping for a product. Did you automatically look at how many reviews that product had? If there was a product that had no reviews, did you almost feel like you weren't going to buy it? I know that I have. So you got to be prioritizing collecting testimonials, especially from your raving fans. At the advocate stage, your customer is vouching for you on your behalf. They're leaving you testimonials and reviews. But we can go a step beyond that with the last stage. The last stage is the promote stage. This is when the customer tells their friends and families how you delivered on the transformation. You know, if they had a pain point in the very beginning of this journey, they found you, you said you were going to help them on this journey and you delivered, they're going to be all smiles and their friends and family are going to notice. And who are they going to credit for their great transformation? You. And you don't want to always just leave it to chance. You could be thinking about referral marketing initiatives like friends and family codes or social sharing initiatives. But ultimately, when you deliver on the full transformation, you're going to build a base of promoters who will naturally tell everybody all about your products. And that's exactly what you want, because that's going to lead to more new leads for your business. And they kept receiving value at each of these 8 stages. And what happens at the very end? They become a raving fan of your business and they tell the whole world about you. So you want to be thinking about ascending each and every customer who enters your journey through each of these 8 stages. And this is going to help you build a thriving business. All right, so we've taken a look at each of the 8 stages of the customer journey. We've talked about how we're going to attract cold audiences and convert them to raving fans of your business. But I really want to hone in on the first stage there, the awareness stage, because you need to remember that there's a whole bunch of perfect customers for your business out there in the internet abyss. They've never met you before, and you're trying to get in front of them for the first time. And the most important thing that you need to do when you reach them for the very first time is add immense value to their life. You need to speak to their specific nuances, understand their pain points, and mostly make it all about them. That's the only way that you're going to get their attention. To illustrate how you can create content that's going to capture your customers' attention at the awareness stage, I'm going to compare this to a conference. Let's say that all of you are attending a live conference. You're here to watch this guy who's standing on the stage there. And let's just say, for the fun of this, since we're at Privy's e-commerce marketing school, that this is a Privy conference. And I want to call out the elephant in the room. You may have noticed that there's an elephant sitting in the room, right? The elephant in the room that I want to address right now is, even though everybody's there to see this awesome speaker that is on stage teaching them, their attention is going to gravitate towards whatever is most specific to their pain point. So if the speaker is better than the elephant, they're going to look at the speaker. If the speaker is boring and they're surprised about this elephant, they might look at the elephant. Okay, but let's just pretend for a sec we're at the same conference and all of a sudden Facebook and Snapchat show up and they're hanging out in the back. Does anyone care that they've arrived? Not really. So nobody's really paying any attention to Facebook and Snapchat hanging out at the back. But let's pretend for a sec this is a really hot summer day. This conference is happening in really, really hot temperatures and the air conditioner breaks inside the conference room. Now you can see our elephant friend here is sweating and everybody is getting really uncomfortable. It's super hot in there. And Facebook and Snapchat all of a sudden get this brilliant idea to sell ice cold water to this room. Okay, where do you think everybody's attention is going to go? Yep, you got it. They no longer care about the elephant in the room. They no longer care about the great speaker in the front there. They care about the ice cold water. So the major elephant in the room that we're addressing here is that your customer is inundated with lots of different ads from your competitors and from everybody else. So if you want to capture their attention, you need to resonate with their specific pain and passion points. And if you can nail that down, you're going to attract all the attention that you need. And this whole concept that I'm illustrating with Facebook and Snapchat selling the ice cold water to the really hot room, we call this interruptive marketing. Interruptive marketing is any form of marketing that interrupts consumer attention and directs it towards your message. So billboards, TV commercials, and online ads are all examples of interruptive marketing. And like I said earlier, everyone's competing for your customers' attention online. The only way to stand out and not be tuned out is to agitate your customers' pain, gain, and passion points in your content and show how your product or service is a vehicle for the transformation they desire. So when we think about platforms like Facebook and Snapchat, they are very much interruptive marketing platforms. People don't go to Facebook and Snapchat to search for your product. They go there to see photos of family and friends, find out whose birthday it is, maybe hop into a couple Facebook groups. But if you can get an ad in front of them that resonates with the pain or passion points that they're living with, all of a sudden you have all their attention and they're going to discover you, be interested in your message, and ascend on to the next stage of your journey. The key for interruptive marketing to be effective, I hope you've gotten this point so far, is that you need to understand the customer segment that you're speaking to. You need to know what keeps them up at night, what motivates them. So in the next section, we're gonna dive into building the perfect customer avatar for your business.